Read 'em and weep, boys. 5 queens, fake ID, Diego Maradona's hand of God. Ha ha! Come to daddy, babies. Woo-hoo. Cheating has always been frowned upon, yet since the dawn of time, cheating has always reared its ugly head. Whether you're a pathetic little scrot that has to cheat in order to win a computer game, or a certain pumpkin skin-toned blonde-haired bubo that has to cheat on their taxes. Today's game that we're having a look at actually encourages you to cheat. In fact, if you want to win it, you're going to have to. Back in 2004, Drei Magier Spieler produced a game called Cockroach Poker. It's very similar to the popular card game Cheat. In both games, players are playing cards face down into a pile and calling out what it is that they have played. The game's enjoyment comes through the level of deception. You see, it's up to players to call out on each other as to whether or not the cards that they were playing matched what they were saying. Were they being honest, or were they telling barefaced lies? A few years later, the same company produced this, Cheating Moth, a game where your aim is to try and get rid of all of your cards and cheat along the way. Sounds very similar to Cockroach Poker and Cheat, however they took the rules and kind of flipped them on its head. Let's take a gander. At the start of the game, everybody is dealt a hand of 8 cards. Similarly to the game Cheat, you're going to be laying a card one higher or one lower than what's in the middle. Only this time you put the cards face up, so here you actually have to be honest. You can't get away with cheating. But the game liberates you in every other way. You're allowed to cheat your face off with everything else. You see, you want to try and get rid of your hand of cards and be the first to do so. So I might take a card and try and sneak it up my sleeve. I might hide it under the table or throw it under my shoulder. Basically, try and do anything that I can without getting caught. You might be dealt some of these cards as well. These are Cheating Moth cards. Now, you're banned from being able to play these cards into the middle. The only way to get rid of these cards is to cheat. Cough. Look over there. One person at the start of each round is going to be given the guard bug card. It is up to them to keep a watchful eye on the other players. They themselves cannot cheat, but they are the only player allowed to call out others for cheating. If they accuse someone and they get it wrong, then they pick up a card and play continues. However, if their accusation is correct, then their culprit has to pick up another card and they will assume control of the guard bug and play carries on. If you want to make your game a little bit spicier, then why not add a fly swat to the mix? And whenever that guard wants to make an accusation, wham! Hit him with a swat. A round ends when one player has used up all of their cards. All the remaining players count up the value of the points of the cards in their hand. The guard bug gets passed to the next player and another round commences. Whoever accumulates the fewest points over the course of the game is the victor. Some of the cards have special abilities when you play them. We've got cockroaches, we have mosquitoes, spiders and ants. Now the cockroach, when you play them, one other player is going to be allowed to play a card of the exact same value. Which player does that get to be? Well, whoever is the quickest on the draw. Then we have the mosquitoes. Now the mosquitoes is another card that requires dexterity. Everybody has got to slap the card as quickly as they can. Ouch! Now the person who is the slowest on the draw there is going to be getting a card from every other player. Ooh, double ouch. Then we have the spiders. The spider is just a nice kind card that when you play the spider you get to give one of your cards to another player. And finally we have the ants. The ants is just a big screw you card because when you play an ant everybody has to add another card to their hand. So that's pretty much it. A game that requires you to cheat as much as possible, don't get caught, with a couple of dexterity and take that mechanics thrown into the mix. Now, what do I think of it? Well, I'm somewhere in the middle about it. It doesn't wow me, although I do really like that the game promotes you to be deceitful in as many imaginative and creative ways that you can think of. The game plays 3 to 5. Now, playing with 3 I do not recommend. It's a bit of a mess because it is really taxing to try to cheat successfully, because the guard only has to monitor the pair of you. You feel you have to hamper them by giving them a pair of blinkers to wear. So it is better with the higher player count because there are more distractions that the guard has to contend with. However, saying that though, the more players you have, the longer the game does go on for, because you're supposed to play as many rounds as there are players, although you could ignore that rule and just play the game for as long as you wish. Some people really dislike the artwork, whereas myself, I actually quite admire it. There's striking colours, bold penmanship and cheeky little characters. Conjures up images of some dive speakeasy or some old jazz club teeming with smoke. I myself am utterly woeful at this game, as I often end up letting my guard down. And my ability to lie is pretty much on a par with some toddler who's eaten a lot of chocolate cake, vehemently denies that they've eaten anything even though the evidence is there for all to see. Interestingly, I would actually really like to be a spectator or a fly on the wall to this game, watching a group of con artists and magicians to see how well professional cheaters can go without getting caught. After all is said and done, this game is actually quite fun. If you like this genre, then I would certainly recommend giving this a try. It's quite gimmicky and you can really push the boundaries in terms of what you can get away with doing. You might learn a few tricks along the way, some sleight of hand, and you might pave a way in becoming the next artful dodger. However, myself, I prefer games of this genre more along the lines of the Resistance or Liar's Dice. It plays better with more of you, and the take that power that the ant possesses kind of annoys me. This game is pretty affordable and well worth giving it a try. Anyway, I have been the Board Game Chap. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for watching, happy gaming, and cheerio! Give me that, right, I'm the guard bug now.